Okay, so just so this video doesn't get dragged on too much, every time that you guys actually do one of these drills, you guys could actually do it from a stationary position. But for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to be moving back and forth. But if you guys just need some time to get used to certain drills or techniques, or whatever it is that I'm showing on screen, you guys could always do it like in place basically, or just side to side in this case. And then once you guys kind of get the hang of it, kind of get the groove, kind of get the rhythm, then you guys can start utilizing footwork and start moving forward, and at the same time also move back, because like I say time and time again, in boxing, you're not always going to be the one pressing the action forward. Sometimes the action is going to come to you. So this first drill is similar to one of the basic drills that I actually showed you guys in the first video. So the only difference with this video is that your body doesn't really go to one side or the other. And what I mean by that is, so for example, this is kind of going back to basically the last drill of our first video. It's kind of like the counterpunching drill. So basically just kind of a way to get your head off the center line and counterpunch. So basically this is either the center line, right, or a straight punch coming at you. You guys have to use your imagination with the slip rope, because it doesn't technically hit you back, right? And I hate that was saying, oh yeah, pads don't hit you back, or whatever, or bags don't hit you back. But right here, just imagine like something's coming at you, or just imagine this is a center line. So basically kind of like, like when you basically slip a right hand counter with the left hook in a what do you call it, in an orthodox to orthodox situation. Let's just pretend this is right hand coming at you, and even though I'm not orthodox, it might look a little bit silly. Like I mentioned, I'm not an orthodox fighter, so don't expect anything that's very sharp. So it might look a little bit flimsy, a little bit off. So let's just say in theory or in our imagination, this is a right hand coming at me. So once again, instead of actually moving my whole torso and my lower body on this side, right, like I usually did in like those first few drills, I'm actually gonna basically think of this as a straight right coming at me. And if you guys know basic boxing, one of the most common ways to actually counterpunch straight right from the orthodox position, so from orthodox to orthodox, is actually with the left hook. In this case, instead of actually moving my torso or my whole body basically to the left side, I'm actually gonna just kind of either roll or slip under this, quote unquote right hand, and counterpunch with the left hook without actually like bringing my whole body onto the left side. So what I mean by that is, I'm gonna stay very close to the rope. I'm gonna pretend this is a right hand coming at me, right? I'm either gonna roll or I'm gonna slip, right? So I'm gonna here, right? And as you guys can see, basically I'm kind of, you could kind of say like diagonal, I guess you could say a little bit open, but this is like kind of like a way you guys could easily counter a right hand. So now from this position, of course, always keep your hands up, keep your fundamentals intact. Or from right here, basically you create the leverage, right, off of slipping or rolling the right hand. So once again, you're here, the right hand is coming, right? You either slip or you roll, right? So right here, slip, your whole body doesn't come back with you. You basically create some leverage, and here is the left hook, right? And you just come back to the middle. Same thing if I want to throw, I don't know, let's just say a lead uppercut, right? Same thing. You either roll, you slip, use either or whatever, I guess, defensive movement you feel comfortable with, right? And from right here, same thing. I basically get out of the punch, right, or get off the center line, and then throw a lead uppercut, right? And if I wanted to, maybe I could throw a lead uppercut and a right hand down the middle. You get me? While at the same time keeping my fundamentals intact. And from this position, since I kind of want to basically get into a balanced stance after I throw basically my shots, then from this position, all I gotta do is, once again, very common wisdom, conventional wisdom, just basically roll onto the right side and bring your whole body with you. I could be a southpaw fighter fighting against an orthodox fighter, and in this case, I could actually find certain counter punches that I need. So once again, using our imagination, and you guys just kind of figuring out what counter punch you guys feel comfortable with. Let's just say the left jab is coming, right, for example, and me as a southpaw, maybe I want to counter that with a lead uppercut and a straight left. So I could actually do that, right? Once again, not bringing my whole body onto this side. As you guys could kind of tell, basically my left foot is actually still on the other side of the rope, right? And so from this position, once again, I come with a lead uppercut, right, get my head off the center line and throw a straight left. And then once again, to reposition myself or reset my whole body, basically I roll under this, right? And then now I bring basically my whole right side of my torso back to the left side, and basically I reset. And then if you want, you could actually throw a couple jabs just to kind of manage the distance. And then basically you're in a very comfortable position, again, very balanced position, where you guys could actually, you know, roll it and throw something. So this drill is pretty cool because of the fact that you get off the center line, you find your counter punches, and at the same time, every punch that you throw in boxing is not always going to be like on balance, right? You're not always going to be balanced. Sometimes you're going to throw certain shots that are a little bit uncomfortable, or you're out of balance, or there's certain positionings or certain openings that might open up for you for a split second, and you might have to throw, you know, depending or regardless of like what position you're currently in. So this is a cool drill to just kind of like throw some off balance shots that may or may not hurt your opposition, you get me? Because it's kind of hard to throw like a very solid power punch if you don't really have like the base to begin with. But sometimes, you know, just practicing things over and over again, I mean, will get you like pretty good. I mean, just look at the guys that like practice Savate, right? It's like Savate was basically made for like ship fighting, right? And like it's like a kickboxing art form. So yeah, don't be afraid to actually, you know, get a little bit off balance with these shots and throw something, right? And then basically just kind of roll or use some defensive maneuver, or just basically kind of flow with your body, right? So you guys could actually like kind of reset your whole stance and find your balance again. So for these last few drills, you guys actually see me work the rope side to side, but you guys could actually work the rope while it's in front of you. As you guys could tell, the slip rope is about my neck level, right? Like I mentioned in the first video, you kind of just want to keep it that way. That way, you know, when you're working off of your slips and your rolls, I mean, you could actually get like a deep roll or a deep slip, right? But also, one of the cool things about the slip rope is if you have it at neck level, and hopefully that's about the same size or about kind of like the same height of the opposition you're fighting, you guys could actually work your head, right, and body attacks. So this is a pretty good way to actually kind of measure out your opponents, right? Of course, there's going to be instances where your opponents might, for whatever reason, really be way taller than you or way shorter than you. But for the most part, if you guys are competing, and if it is by weight class, for the most part, everybody should be or will be around the same height. So this is very cool because of the fact that, once again, use your imagination. This could actually be like somebody's big old head, right? And this could be actually somebody's body, and you guys could actually, you know, work the head up here, right, and work the body. And not only that, believe it or not, the slip rope itself actually makes kind of like a great baseline to work like overhand punches and uppercuts, because from this position, I mean, you could actually throw an uppercut, right here, boom, throw an uppercut, right here, throw an uppercut, right here, throw an uppercut, and also overhand punches, right, over, and then you can combine it together if you wanted to, right? Throw it up here or down here, right? And then just come over the top. So, right? Boom. always reset. My hat fucked it up. So, right? Reset. Reset. And like I mentioned, since this is somebody's big old head and this is somebody's torso, you guys could actually like mix it up. Don't always be a headhunter. Actually go for the body, right? So once again, you guys can do it in a stationary position or side to side. Throw a jab down here, jab up here, jab down here, right? So sa. Or if you want to mix it up, right? You go jab to the head, cross the body, and maybe hook upstairs, and then again, ba. Or maybe 1, 2, and then from this position, throw a lead uppercut, right down here, or jab up here. Step to the side, rear uppercut, hook, rear uppercut, hook, and then you cross up here. And from this position, just roll and reset your body. Boom. So this slip rope, if you use your imagination, could be utilized for so many things. This will be a great way to mix it up and actually teach your fighters, like I mentioned, lead uppercuts or rear uppercuts and overhand punches. So I actually did it from the southpaw stance, but if you're orthodox, same rules apply. Like I mentioned, don't expect anything too sharp from me, right? Because I'm not an orthodox fighter. But you know, same thing. You know, you throw a lead uppercut, right? Lead uppercut, boom. Overhand right, bah, right? Overhand right, boom. And then maybe you'll, you know, reset. Or opposite way, right? You'll throw a rear uppercut, boom. Left hook, boom, right? And then reset the opposite way, boom. So basically, all I'm trying to get at is that this is a great way to basically start teaching your fighters how to, throw upstairs, throw downstairs, mix it up, and then eventually I'll show you guys even more kind of I guess impressive or more advanced drills in the next video. Basically this is kind of a little bit of an overview. I taught you guys that second drill for a particular reason, and I actually taught you guys that second drill before I taught you guys this one, just for the mere fact that in boxing things go hand in hand. So you learn, jabs and then cross and then hooks, right? Because basically that's kind of like the way that your body kind of flows. So I'm actually just trying to basically make the movements as natural as I possibly can. So like you guys saw in the second drill, right? You guys saw me throw, upstairs, downstairs, throw basically uppercuts and overhand rights, right? Or overhand left in my case. So this actually brings me to my third drill. So now I'm actually going to be able to incorporate the pivots, right? So kind of like the point of a pivot is just basically to create new angles, or basically get out of positions where you might end up or may be in trouble. The main reason why I showed you guys that that second drill before I showed you guys this third one is because of the fact that basically now we're combining like the first few drills that we learned with like this second part or the second set of drills, and making it into basically one whole big drill. So let's just say right here, right? We start off, let's say, with one of our first drills. So we're just gonna punch, right? Throw 1-2s, just keep it simple, and roll under here, right? 1-2s, roll over here. 1-2s, roll over here, right? This is pretty cool, but sometimes you basically need to create some space or create an angle when you're opposition. Sometimes you're gonna have to pivot out of certain punches or slip and pivot and create new angles for yourself, because you can't always just kind of like keep boxing in a linear fashion, because of the fact that if you always come into linear, I mean, you're gonna be maybe not the easiest target in the world, because you might incorporate some head movement, but you guys will be like pretty predictable, and at the same time maybe your opposition has a grasp on angles and pivoting or cutting angles, and you're not really going to be that efficient. So once again, if I'm coming forward, right, 1-2, I roll under here, right, 1-2, maybe as I roll under here I basically want to pivot, right? So I want to pivot off of basically this, I don't know, you guys could, I don't know, think of it like as a left jab in this case, going back to, my first example. So from right here, maybe you actually want to be here and then pivot. And then once you're pivoting, like your opposition is probably still looking straight. And then from this position, of course, you got to take advantage of the milliseconds that are actually presented to you, because your opponent might make the adjustment where he's facing you again. Maybe from this position, you want to throw a left uppercut, right? And a left hand, right? Left uppercut, boom, left hand. Left uppercut, left hand, right? Basically, you want to take advantage of the angles and the positioning you may have. And then basically, since this slip rope drill, you just kind of want to basically pivot out back, like basically to get to a point where you're right next to the rope, right? So from this position, all you got to do is just pivot out the opposite way, and then you roll back here, right? And then you can throw 1-2, right? You come in right here, 1-2. And now let's just say like you're gonna basically roll this way, right? Now you just pivot out this way, and now basically from right here you can throw rear uppercut, right? Rear uppercut, straight left. Basically on both sides, right? So make sure that you guys actually utilize both sides and actually pivot off of both sides. So now if I'm going this way, right? 1-2, maybe I'm actually gonna step over here, and from this position, I'm actually gonna pivot out this way. And from this position, I could actually throw a lead uppercut and an overhand left, right? And then I can step back a little bit just to kind of like make it a little bit realistic, kind of get some space between me and my opposition. Then I can step in, pivot back, and that way I'm actually like basically right next to the slip rope. And then once again, I drop down over here, 1-2, roll over here, 1-2, roll over here, and then I can pivot, right? Step a little bit forward if I need to. That way I basically don't kind of compromise my form. Throw rear uppercut, right? In my case, a left one, and an overhand left, or an overhand right if you're an orthodox fighter. Once again, I'm here. I basically pivot off to a point where I'm right next to the what do you call it? Next to the slip rope. I basically come over here, and once again I can do it forward, right? The reason why I needed to show you guys that second drill before this one is because of the fact that I just kind of wanted you guys to kind of get an idea on like how to use the slip rope while it's in front of you. I know sometimes it could actually be quite confusing, especially if you're starting off or if you're barely starting off and moving on to these drills. So I just kind of want you guys to know that like once like the slip rope is actually in front of you and you're like face to face with it, that you guys could actually like throw some things and utilize it. And how basically you add more fundamentals and more techniques of boxing into this drill, so it becomes quote unquote a little bit more advanced, right? Because of the fact that now, besides the fact that you're using footwork, punches, you're creating angles, and at the same time you're mixing it up a little bit, right? You're hitting somebody's big old head, right? And you're hitting the torso. So for this last drill, it's mostly all defensive. I mean, you guys could actually put some punches in between, but it's a little bit more defensive on the fact that you're actually going to be incorporating another aspect of boxing, which is blocking. All you guys are going to do is pick a side wherever you guys want to start. You guys are going to step onto the opposite side, right? Going back to basic stuff. So basically you're going to block inside, basically block towards the rope, block to the other side, right? And then from this position, this kind of like allows you to actually be able to kind of roll under the rope back to the other side. So basically block on the inside, block on the outside, right? And then from this position, this will actually kind of like make your body roll under here. And remember, every time I block, I'm actually blocking and basically trying to block most of my torso, right? Most of my face. Of course, if you have a glove, there's gonna be more padding. It's a little bit more easier to block basically the whole face because the glove is a little bit bigger. But basically, even if I turn my whole turn my torso a little bit, I'm still able to see what my opposition is doing. So I don't want to lose sight of that, and I roll under, right? Inside, roll under. Inside, outside, roll under. Basically, that's it. That basically will conclude our video. If you guys want to check me out on Instagram, you guys can actually check me out on Instagram. There's a team Instagram, and of course our Facebook. I don't think we really post that much things on Facebook, but on our team Instagram, we basically keep up with what's going on in the mixed martial arts world and in the boxing world. And on my own personal Instagram, you guys could actually see what I've been up to or what I do on a day-to-day basis. Actually, I'm working at a gym right now, so basically you guys could see kind of what I do in the gym sometimes, and sometimes you guys will actually see me holding mitts for people. So if you guys want to see me kind of like train other people just off of mitt work alone, you guys could like check that out. So yeah, basically this will conclude our video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll probably be coming back in a week or two with the last drills of this segment with the slip rope. So for that last video, I'm actually going to be having a little bit more advanced drills and techniques. So yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time.